Hey there, it's Tutorial Tuesday, and I'm going to talk about making content for reality in GeoCAST. Now, I've been doing experiences for the last 10 years, and one of the things I found was, sizing in a lot of ways matters for that believability and those components. And about maybe 20 years ago, just dating myself here, I used to make signs. So a billboard is an example. Everybody tried to cram as much information as they could on the billboard and expect you to be able to read it. And a billboard's pretty big. It's like 10 by 20 feet, and the normal size ones, and they can get bigger. But when you're driving past on the highway, they're about the size of like a postcard or a business card, right? If you're designing augmented reality for print for a marker, the size is defined in most cases by the size of the marker itself. The bigger the marker, the augment will constrain to the size of that print. So if you took an 8.5 11 and scaled it up to like 24 by 36, the augment would in kind scale up with it, right? For SLAM, you would create content, and maybe you want a can of something to be X inches on the table. In GeoCAST, you can tell in our system GeoCAST, you can say an object I want to be 10 inches, and if I place it on the desktop, it would be 10 inches in front of me, and absolute scale of 10 inches on the floor in front of me as well. Those make sense. But when you're designing for a geolocation, you have a lot of elements to consider, right? You have the real world to consider. You have occlusion properties. You have elements of obstructions. Now, let me just show you what I'm talking about first. Here's a cast I made. Let me just bring up a video. I'm at Grey Roots Heritage Museum here at Morrison Village. And in wintertime, it's closed, but yet they have all these awesome places around that you can't explore until now. GeoCAST allows you to place content at different spots. Right now we have a timber frame barn, and I'm going to open it up. We have an information channel. We have a picture. So in that particular scenario, I knew that at the village, they only, in this spot here, if you can see my mouse, they only allow, there is no winter access. You can only stand at the gate and basically look at the village, right? So I placed the content from where I was standing over to the barn. It's 500 feet to walk from the barn. So the math worked out to be, I knew that in the viewport, I wanted to be high enough that I'd be able to see it and it wasn't too low and feel a little bit more immersive. And I placed the content the math worked out to 246 feet for the actual graphic. Now our stuff, if you tell it to be in reality a certain size, it's going to be that size. I'm going to show you that in a minute, a different example. This is creating an experience on where somebody would be at a fixed location and they would have to stand at a certain point and go over top of the cast dot and open up the experience. Now, if they're mobile and walking down the street, that's obviously a different situation. Let me bring up this example. Let me play a little bit of a video here real quick again. Another test of GeoCAST. There's a bank. So with that particular scenario, you notice that it was nighttime, so no SLAM is required. It's all GPS driven. And this is all about line of sight wayfinding. If you're looking for indoor items right now, we have solutions for that down the road that we are still porting over from our app builds from years ago. But right now, it's all about outside. It's about theme parks. It's about outdoor navigation. It's about scavenger hunts, wayfinding, walking tours, in a park, all these wonderful things for these outside, especially for tourism, right? On location elements enhance the story, learn more about the spot, film somebody on green screen, have them appear standing there in period costume. I could go on all day about that stuff. But in this particular scenario, what you saw was, this is in the video, I walked down the sidewalk, turned the corner of this building, and the element I placed was 9 feet off the ground by 3 feet tall. So it was an appropriate size that felt right for the user. It wasn't too big. It stayed within the viewport because you don't want to have to have somebody scan back and forth to see the entirety of it. We want to make it so that when you're walking, things just make sense at the right scale, and you'll get a feel for it, and that's what we've done. So we've got it made so you can have things open on proximity. So as you get closer to it, it'll open. If you walk away from it, it's going to close. So you're going to have those elements that can open up in front of stores or at different elements. If you haven't placed anything on GeoCAST yet, this is how easy it is. So you just go to studio.worldcast.io and pick GeoCAST out of our 3 studios. You can play stuff for free. There's absolutely no commitment other than putting your email address in at the end of. In fact, you can go to the studio and you can start creating in the studio without even putting your email address in. Only if you want to see your experience do you put the email address in, and freemium's limited to 1,000 views per month. So you literally can create free AR on our system with no commitment for life, and that's for life. It's like, as long as we're around, it's around. So I'll say for life. So once you're in the studio, you can either navigate on the map to where your location is at. Once again, I stress, don't really do things indoors. Set something outdoors. In my case, I'll set my building here. Oops. So I've done this many times in my demos. I'm not going to open up my phone today. I've done many demos on that, but I'm just giving you a quick example. So I'm going to place something on the street corner that's right outside here. I double clicked it, and basically now it's ready. It's primed to go. Hey, what do you want to do with me? So it defaults to 5 meters. That's the 5 meters is the max we've set for auto open. Because anyway, that's a whole other tutorial. I'm not going to get into that. You can have an open facing user. So if you want the cast to, if you have it facing a certain way, maybe you want, if there's somebody's coming around a corner, maybe you want it to aim towards them instead of them coming up on the back end of it, as an example. In this case, I'm just going to name this Test Cast 2, because I already have another one in there. And I'm just going to go edit. This interface is going to look a lot better in a couple of weeks. We're making all the pushes now for the UI UX, but I'm showing you how you can use the system today. Just go edit, and now you have the ability to add images, buttons, text, 360 images, audio, video, 3D objects, and Sketchfab. So you can't upload a custom 3D object in the free version, but if you want, you could upload your object to Sketchfab as a loophole and bring it in. I'm always about loopholes, but you are limited to 1,000 views per month on that one. So in this case, let's open up Sketchfab, and I have tons of content. These are my purchase items. Let's grab. Let's just grab this reindeer. Actually, you know what? Let's grab this holographic Minority Report looking thing and go import. Now, the system doesn't know what size the object is going to be based on the user, so let's just find out what this one's going to be. So it says it's 58 feet, so that's significantly, it's big, right? So we're just going to come over here and say, hey, maybe we want it to be 6 feet tall, and we want it to be maybe 0 on the ground, so we want it to start right on the sidewalk, right? So let's just come in and look at this. Perfect. So there it is. Now we can grab it and we can scale it up if we want by grabbing this middle ring. We can go up, down, left, right with this. As we size up, now it's 21 feet. It's pretty big, right? But we're just gonna leave it at that, and we're gonna go save. And go save and publish. And you'll see how fast it's saved. It's pretty much with any second now. It's gonna come up and say your cast is ready to go, just like now. And you go to portal.worldcast.io. You won't be able to see this if you're looking at unless you're at my area. But if I went to portal.worldcast.io right now and tapped the Explore Around Me button, and when I was outside, I would see a blue dot, and it would say Test Cast 2. And if I hovered on it for a few seconds, all right, my computer crashed. So I went outside and I just filmed it anyway. So here it is. Here's the end result. Crashed. So I decided to come out and actually just record it. So let's go on top of the cast dot. It says Test Cast 2. And you'll see it's going to open up in the corner here at the size that we told it to be. Obviously, there's no occlusion or anything, but the element appears exactly at the spot I wanted it to on the intersection of where I'm standing. So if I walk up towards it, it should get bigger. And go underneath it. See? So I can walk right around it. So it was right on the corner of the sidewalk where I placed it in the studio as you guys watched. And you saw it's not slam, but the GPS does update the positioning of the phone and where you are and where it is. And as you saw, I could walk underneath it and around it. And for most cases, it's great enough for wayfinding, especially at nighttime and in areas that have tons of snow and just lots of other reasons why. So thank you for watching. I can't wait to see what you create with it. And it's only going to get better every day. Thank you so much, everybody.